Well, the new year is here.
Yes.
Can't believe it. If one of your New Year's resolutions or just something you want to try to be better at in 2023 is keeping a cleaner house.
That's me. That's mine.
For most of us, it's probably something we should be thinking about. You want to stick around because we have some simple, like 5 simple tips. One of them, though, is going to blow your mind. You won't believe what you can keep clean with a dryer sheet.
And you will tell every one of your friends about it.
And it's something we all hate to have to clean, but this is going to make your life so much easier. So stay with us. Well, Happy New Year. Tony and Chris back again. Our first show of 2023.
And the year's already shot. I'm off my New Year's resolutions.
What was it?
Just everything. Be in better shape, eat better, be kinder, more patient. I'm off. I'm out.
See, I don't make false promises to myself. There's some things I just know. Do I wish I could be more patient? Do I wish I was nicer? Of course. But that's not going to happen. It's like I tell Katie this all the time. You got me late in life, and I'm sorry for that. But I'm pretty much who I'm going to be.
Well, I get what you're saying there. But don't apologize for that. Sell that to her as a bonus. Like, she's got less time with you. It's late in life. You don't have to deal with me think about if we got married when I was in my 20s, you'd be dealing with me for 40, 50 years.
I do tell her, listen, as bad as I am now, believe it or not, I used to be worse.
Like you're looking at what? 24, 36 months, tops.
Don't say that to her. She's adamant that I have to die first. And I said, don't worry. I'm sure I will, because I have been much harder on my body than you have on yours. So don't worry about that. Anyway, well, we hope whatever your New Year resolution might have been, that it's going strong so far. Obviously, this far into it, what could be going wrong?
You'd be surprised.
You're already off. Apparently, Nick Cannon's New Year's resolution was to make sure that more people have his babies. Because just a couple days ago, he announced baby number 12 has been born.
Now, I know he was a host of America's Got Talent, and he was a DJ in New York City, and he was, I don't think, an actor, comedian, or artist or something.
All that stuff.
But I never really knew who he was until he married Mariah Carey. That's the only time I ever heard his name. And then one of our dear friends and mentors that we love, Steve Reynolds, worked with him.
Yeah.
Steve did not get pregnant by him, which is unusual because everybody around him gets pregnant, apparently.
I think that's just a biology thing. I'm sure Nick tried.
I'm sure he did.
It's like his mission is to get everybody pregnant.
I guess, so your point was he's had more kids?
That's it. He's got the dozen now. He can make a cheaper by the dozen movie with his own kids.
5 in 1 year. And what blows me away about that is, it's kind of like The Bachelor. We make fun of The Bachelor because it's like, if a guy walked into a bar and every woman in that bar said, he made out with me last week, now he's making out with her, they would all kill him.
Yeah.
But on The Bachelor, it's like, I'm going to fight and get him to love me more. And
that's the start to any healthy relationship.
Yes.
Come on.
But like this guy, 5 kids in 1 year, at some point, if you meet, and it's national news that you've got 12 kids, it's not like you're going to meet a girl and she's going to go, I think something special is happening here.
I'm the one.
I'm the one.
All kidding aside, I genuinely am curious as to his psychology. Like, what about it is so important to him that he has all these kids around? Because he clearly is all about it. He's supporting them all financially, at least.
Yeah.
And he claims that he gets around the country to...
Well, he clearly gets around.
to see them and to do things with them and whatever. But I know it's 2023 and parenting isn't what it used to be. It's different. But I also think that a lot of people are not growing up with the kind of nurturing relationship, and maybe some of that's the cause for some of the problems that they're having. I don't know. But I just wonder what makes a person, man or woman, go, I want to pump out as many children as possible.
Rach and we have Lily, and we are not staffed for any more kids. She does gymnastics 5 days a week, and it's like getting her to gymnastics, getting her to school, getting her to drama club if she has practice after that, getting her to, so much, and it's just one child.
Well, you're leaving out an important part, though. You're there for all of this.
Yes.
You have to be involved in all that. He does not have that.
That's true.
That chain does not bind him. But still, just the idea that you want to have that many kids, for what purpose? What is it that is so important that you have to have that many kids?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I've got 3, and that's great. And they're awesome. But 12, double digits. Come on. Really?
Yeah.
And how many more is he going to have? Because men can obviously keep going.
At some point, the government's got to step in, you would think, and just be like, look, dude, you've hit your limit.
Or a close friend or a mental health expert.
Somebody say, hey, let's slow down, big boy.
Let's talk about this for a second before we go do it again. Anyway, congratulations, I guess, to Nick and whichever one, I can't remember which one. I think this might be a duel. She may have already had one of his other kids too.
I have no idea.
I can't keep track. We've done a deep dive on this before in one of our early shows.
Yeah, go back and find that show.
In fact, we'll link that maybe at the end of this if you want to catch up on all the Nick Cannon baby stuff. You may have noticed I have this very colorful orange shirt on. This I got for Christmas from my lovely wife.
Yes.
This organization, the Soy Dog Foundation, is a group in Phuket, Thailand, who started in about 2004, and they rescue street animals, dogs and cats and whatever animals.
Great organization.
It's incredible, and they have made huge gains in the last few years. One of the big things they battle is the dog meat trade, because they still, a lot of places over there, they eat dogs, and they've really gotten laws changed. It's just a great place. We've adopted a dog from them. My daughter adopted one of her cats there, her one-eyed cat, Meebs. Pictures up there now, our sweet babies. It's a great place. I'm not going to hit you over the head with it. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time here. I'm not going to turn this into what's the Sarah McLaughlin, ASPCA.
But you're just going to point out you have a cool shirt.
It's a great shirt. It's a great organization. If you're looking to help an animal organization in the world, this is a great one.
Okay.
So that's all I'm going to say, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Harry Potter, which,
yes.
I'm sorry, just real quick. One cool thing about them is, over 70,000 animals have been helped so far.
That's cool.
In just the short time they've been together. So they're really working it hard, and many of their people are volunteers. Okay, I just wanted to get that in there. Okay. So if you love Harry Potter, they're talking about a reboot, and it's not just dogs. I'm sorry, not just dogs, cats as well. Dogs, cats, and they take them. Sometimes they're severely injured. Sometimes no one else wants them, and they do all the things. Because of your donations, they're able to make these changes, and it's just incredible. Okay,
and then get that info off your shirt or the link.
Sure, the shirt, link, whatever the case. Okay, so now don't want to be one of those guys. Not going to be that person to bash you over the head.
Gotcha.
So there's rumors of a reboot coming of a hugely popular movie.
When I saw this thing about the reboot, hey, by the way, did we mention your shirt?
Oh, the Soy Dog, Soy Dog Foundation, Soy Dog. You can see the website there. But again, not to be that guy. Yeah. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this. Don't worry. Did I mention that Sue, our dog that we got from there, is actually very special to the organization? Oh. He and his brother were named Celebration and Anniversary because they were rescued on the organization's anniversary. No one had ever inquired about Sue before. We were the first to say, hey, we're interested in this dog. Oh. And we were able to get it. So that was kind of
that's
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. So enough about that, though. Let's move on to this reboot thing.
Harry Potter.
Oh, real quick.
Yes.
One last thing. You can also, people say, well, it's got to be expensive because they're flying them around the world they get sponsors who actually will pay for their travel. We had that.
Oh, that's awesome.
An anonymous donor said, hey, I'll pay for all of his travel. They fly him to Germany and then to wherever you are, wherever in the world, which is just an amazing organization. So now then, all done with that.
Yes, Harry Potter. I saw this story and I immediately thought of you because I remember when the books came out. I think it was Lexi, right?
Yeah.
You read them too? That was
she read them. I didn't have to read them to her. We read them together. But,
yeah, y'all read them together. And then when the movies came out, I remember your youngest, Meredith, like one night going to a midnight showing with you to see it or something. And it was such a big deal for you to see the movies. And you guys loved the Harry Potter movies. I've never seen it.
It's not for everybody.
But the rumor is they're about to reboot this thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid rumor, too. We were reading some about this. So on the subject of the books, I didn't think I would be into this. I love, like Lord of the Rings. We've talked about that before. I like the fantasy style stuff, but this seemed kind of childish. I shouldn't say childish. It seemed like it was more geared towards children.
Yes.
So I didn't have an interest. And my Lexi, who at the time when the first one came out, I don't know how old she was, maybe 11.
Yeah, that's about right.
10 or 11, something like that. She said, Dad, you got to read this book yet. And so I read the first one begrudgingly and fell in love, ripped through it in a day. And then every time one of the books came out, she would read it first, usually in a day, and then I would get it and read it after that. And then the movies became a thing that we all enjoyed together, too.
Do they really need to remake a movie now, though, because the technology and the movies are so good? I mean, what are they going to do different? And to be honest, the caliber of actors that they've got in that movie are so amazing.
It's very frustrating, and when you're a fan of something, whatever that might be, you don't want to see somebody mess with something great. It's like if somebody, like a band, remakes one of your favorite songs. You're like, oh, who do they think they are remaking this song?
At least once a week, my head hits the pillow at night, and I sit there and I worry, are they going to reboot Police Academy? Because you're not going to get another Steve Guttenberg or Bobcat Goldthwait.
Well, you joke about a goofy movie like that, but there's the thing going, Liam Neeson in a reboot of Naked Gun? Don't do that.
Please don't.
You just don't have to do it. So with the Harry Potter thing, I could see it if these movies initially came out at a time when the technology wasn't that great and the effects weren't that awesome and they were going to really, really dazzle us with something new in that way. But this is it's a great set of movies. as you mentioned, with great actors and the effects are great. What is it you could possibly change about this to make it better?
Well, I want to ask, you read the books and saw the movies. Did they leave stuff out of the books that they could make a whole movie out of?
I don't know that they could make a whole movie out of it. They could change the story a little bit because with any movie, I mean, the books always have more detail. There's always more characters and stuff that they don't use. So yes, conceivably they could change it up and make the movies a little different by adding in some things that, and I'm okay with that because at least you're doing something to make it different and not just giving us this, like, here's the same script from the first one with some new actors. And that's what I don't want to see because
I get that.
And I think it was fun, too, watching these little, especially the kids, Harry and Hermione and Ron. These were not super experienced actors.
Yeah.
You know, but they got the gigs, and you could see them get better and better at being actors.
And growing up.
And growing up as the movies go. I don't know why you'd want to mess with that. So I don't know. I think this will happen because it's all about money, and that's what Warner Brothers is looking at. They thought Fantastic Beasts was going to be a bigger hit, but now they need something different.
I'll use an example. I've already heard the rumor that this phase, whatever phase they're on in Marvel's, not doing great for what they wanted, that they're discussing that at the end of the next phase, just starting over. And I mean, are we going to buy into a new Iron Man when they come and go, yeah, he's no Robert Downey Jr., but he's going to do it? And it's like,
you know, it's hard because there's always a chance it could be better. I will not be the naysayer that says there's no way it could be better.
I'll do that.
But Robert Downey Jr. in that character, it's iconic. And you start, and heck, for that matter, Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, all those actors did such a good job. Just find something else. There's got to be more material. Surely somebody can think of something to do without having to reboot. And I think I get why this phase isn't really as strong. For regular people, I mean, I'm not a huge Marvel guy. I don't deep dive in these characters. They're going into a place where I just don't know any of these characters. I've never heard of any of these characters, and so I don't care about these characters.
Well, that's the same boat I'm in. I actually started losing interest after the first Avengers movie, where they all got together for the first time, and I stayed with it, but it was like, if I miss it, I'll see it on TV, whatever. But I loved the first. Like, I had never heard of Iron Man, never seen the comic book, nothing. Wow. And when I saw the first one, I was like, it's such a good movie. And then now you look at them, and they've got their formula where every movie is basically the same thing in a different area. And I'm like, okay, what's this, the superpower here? Okay. And now this whole multiverse stuff, I'm just like, yeah.
Well, I love Doctor Strange. I thought that was one of the best of the Marvel movies, but it definitely was kind of like, ooh, okay, hang on a second. And then I haven't seen the last Doctor Strange. I didn't watch that one yet. Did you watch that one?
I think so. Yes. It was very confusing.
Okay. So I haven't gotten into
because
that
I don't watch everything. So I'm like, what is that? And somebody, oh, no, that was from the TV series. It was this.
That's challenging for the casual fan. Now, I will say I had a great time when COVID hit and we were home a lot more and you and I were working from home and doing that. I got Disney Plus just to watch every one of those movies in order. And I did it in just a couple of weeks. And it was awesome. And it was so much fun. And I don't know if I'll ever do that again. But again, I got to love those characters. This new stuff, I just don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when the Doctor Strange in the multiverse or whatever, at one point, because of digital stuff, when he goes into another universe and he ends up with Clint Eastwood and Clyde driving across country, and it's just too much.
I don't know what to tell you. Those are the references that you come here, you're going to get that. We're going to mix the new and the old. Mostly the old. I'm very, very sorry. So a couple of music stories, and these are both kind of bombshelly, and they're both kind of heavy, so we won't spend a ton of time on it, but I mean...
this is one of these is going to catch your attention for sure.
Well, it's one of them is very difficult because we know more than we can say, and we're really going to keep it as generic as we can because no one has made anything public, and we're not trying to be a problem for this person. But first one is a rock story, and I think it's a rock story we've seen over and over again, but it always kind of crushes you when you see it. The Steven Tyler story that I'm sure you've seen by now, a young lady has filed a lawsuit because when she was 16, apparently they carried on a sexual relationship and the whole thing.
But you know, that happens with so many artists that if you do, I won't say their names because I don't want to get sued, but there's a lot of artists we love that are legends that if you do a little deep dive, they've been accused of terrible, terrible things. And like not underage necessarily, but we've seen it backstage at shows. I mean, there's always women lined up willing to do whatever for these artists.
Well, yeah, hey, look, and if you're 18 or older, knock yourself out.
Yeah.
And that's their business. But when you're talking about underage, and then it was crazy because I saw the initial story, and then I got caught up on a Reddit thread about it, and some of the things, people were making some points, and it's challenging because you never want to give the indication you think any of this is okay.
Yeah.
But they're like, why is this suddenly a thing? Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, David Bowie was with a 13-year-old. Just horrible stuff. And these are people that, a lot of people look up to as heroes and legends. And
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Married his cousin, for goodness sake. And so I don't want to make light or downplay it by saying, well, hey, this happens all the time. It's a terrible thing that should not be happening.
No. But wasn't even Elvis, wasn't like Priscilla 15 or 16 when they started dating?
I believe I think that's right. And everybody just kind of turned the other way because these people were famous and they were, celebrities and singers. And I don't like that we live in a world where that happens,
Yeah.
And I don't like seeing a world where these guys would even consider doing that. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
That's not the big story.
No. The big story is Steven Tyler's feet. If you've never seen him, make sure you check that out. In fact, here you go. Whoa.
Oh, that's pretty disgusting.
So, and he already looks like a grandmother, and now his feet match. Okay, now, Chris, yes, this next story, which we can't say much about, but it is...
We'll just be blunt with it, because it's not out, and it's not verified either.
This is everything we're sharing here is alleged, even though we can't say much.
But several months ago, 6-7 months ago, we were told by some people in a conversation that was just casually that a country, I'd say superstar,
yes,
is going through sexual reassignment or gender reassignment, how you say that, right? And we were like, because I just didn't believe it. I've known this individual for years, and we both have his phone number and have talked to him many times, always super nice to us. I've hung out with him a few times and didn't think anything about it because I was like, that doesn't sound right.
Like, who would start this kind of a rumor? It's weird, and especially in the country music world.
And then it's come up again 2 other times recently, and we were on the phone the other night, and someone that is in the know in Nashville casually mentioned it like it's common knowledge. And I didn't follow up on it, neither did you, but it was like, okay, for it to be said that common knowledge, it's going to blow everybody's minds when it comes out about this artist.
And I think, in this day and age, it's wonderful that people who need to get this done can get it done. I think we have a long way to go in this country anyway, for being better about supporting these men and women and what they're going through. In the country music world, a world we've seen for a long time, they're definitely less accepting. I think that it's better than it was.
Yes.
It's definitely better than it was, but it's still, I think, maybe the last format of music where you can just feel open about who you are.
Yeah.
I think it was incredibly awesome that T.J. Osborne of the Brothers Osborne was finally able to come out and be who he is and live his best life.
One of the best voices in country music, period. And his brother, one of the best guitarists in country music.
Without question. We go back a ways in country music. We got started, I got started in the 80s and then we together in the 90s. And, we watched Shelley Wright, what she went through when she came out and was basically, blacklisted.
Yeah.
Ty Herndon.
Ty, yeah. Who's got a great album out now if you get a chance to listen to it.
And it's just, it was very frustrating to see these artists. Suddenly people thought, okay, well, I won't support you because of your sexual preference or whatever. It's like, get out of here.
And I've never understood that because for some reason, country artists, if they don't align with your beliefs, some of you anyhow, your beliefs 100%, I'll never listen to their music and I'm going to complain about them and take every shot I can at them. Taylor Swift's a good example of that, because of her political views. But I'm like, but you'll go to a movie or watch your favorite wrestler or whoever that has the same political beliefs she has, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's a weird little format. I mean, we love it. It's been our bread and butter for a long time. So anyway, this story, I don't know when it will break. I don't know when it will actually.
It will break though.
But you can't. When you're at this level of stardom, it doesn't stay quiet forever.
And I haven't done the research, but I'm wondering how long it takes to go through that.
Long time.
Because you remember Bruce Jenner, it took a long time before the transition. And I'm wondering if during the pandemic, this artist said, you know what, now's the time.
It could
just
be.
Get started and get this rolling.
Yeah, it could be. The person who cuts my hair, her spouse actually is transitioning, and it's just in the starting process in its infancy. And she was talking about some of what has to happen and what they have to do. And I mean, I feel for these folks, it takes so long. It's such a difficult process, physically, mentally, the whole thing. So let us just say, when this does come out, we are first in line to wish this person well, and we hope it goes great, and we hope that they live their best life in a new way. But it's definitely going to throw the country music world, or at least the fans, I think, for a loop, and it's going to take them a second maybe to
go, wow,
to say, okay, and
it'll be a shocker.
Wrap their head around it. But look for that story. It's out there, and I think that's probably about all we can say safely. I don't know how you segue from that to, hey, you want to keep a cleaner house? There's no smooth way to do that. Or if there is, I haven't discovered it. But let's talk about this. New Year's resolutions for so many people involve straighten up. I'm gonna be less cluttered this year. We're gonna keep a cleaner house.
It's one of my goals.
So this is not any kind of long stretched out thing. It's just it's 3 or 4 quick little tips. But one of them is so awesome, and maybe you're already doing it, maybe not. Dryer sheets, I know, obviously they're used in the laundry, but don't just waste dryer sheets on the laundry. I've seen people say they've cleaned their shoes with them and some of those kind of things, but this is a household thing, and it's something that almost everybody hates to mess with because it's just so inconvenient. But a dryer sheet could make your world much easier. Obviously we're saving that for last, but there's only 5.
Okay.
Some quick tips for 2023. If your resolution is to be cleaner in your home, try some of these out if you don't already. Okay, so here we go. The first one it should be obvious, but and I know it can be daunting, but if you're really serious about this, you got to go. You got to clean everything, top to bottom, and do it literally from top to bottom.
Okay.
What you don't want to do is get the floors nice and clean, and then go around dusting the top corners and the fans because it's all going to just drop down.
That's why you wash your hair first in the shower.
Not everybody does, though.
Well, they're wrong.
I agree. This is one I think a lot of people forget about. Clean your cleaning machines.
Oh, yeah. Washing machine, all that stuff.
Washing machine, dryer, dishwasher, any machine you have that cleans something, it has to be cleaned too.
Yeah, you get mold and stuff in it.
And it can generally be very simple. For your washing machine, you can just put on a hot setting with a couple of cups of vinegar and then wipe it out.
Same way with the dishwasher. Pour some vinegar and baking soda in it and just run a cycle.
Yeah, you can go old school like that. I mean, they make special cleaning things too, but if you don't want to spend that money, you don't have to. This one I love, and this is not just about your house. It's really about clothing and everything else. It's from the folks at Top Knot, and it's just a guide to stains. And we got it up here on the screen. Yeah, so if you have one of these stains, you can see down the side there, remove it with this. And there's several of them on here. Some of them I've heard, some of them I haven't. I had never heard this. If you have a red wine stain, you can remove it with white wine.
That sounds like just big wine game there. That's the industry going, hey, we're going to double up on our wine sales.
I mean,
you're going to have a few glasses of this and spill it. You better have a bottle of white on hand.
I'm going to try this with Katie. I'm going to say, I've stained the inside of my stomach with bourbon. I heard I can clean it with vodka.
Yes.
I'll see if she'll go for that.
I don't want to be around when you're cleaning the inside of your stomach. I'll tell you that.
Anyway, if you've ever done the wine one, hit us in the comments and let us know if that actually works. Because you're right. It does sound like big wine. Just saying, you got to have this. I've never heard that before. It's kind of crazy. This is a particular product, and we really weren't pushing particular products in this one. But man, I am on board. If you've never used Barkeeper's Friend,
I have not.
This is the stuff. And they have a powdered version, which is great, but they also have like a soft cleanser, and they have like a top of your stove kind of thing. For me, I guess the best example I can give of how well it cleans is if we have we have some stainless steel cookware, and often, you use detergent and everything, but then you can see it's kind of getting a little pitted, or it's got some stains from water or whatever. We throw in some Barkeeper's Friend and scrub it up, and it looks brand new.
Oh, okay.
Every time. And I'm sure there are a ton of uses for it that we've never even thought of. So again, if that's one you've tried and you've used it for something kind of weird, put it in the comments. Let's help each other out here if we're all trying to be cleaner.
Okay.
And now, the grand finale. Dryer sheets. What is it you can clean with a dryer sheet that will make your life so much better?
Well, I'm dying to know.
After you've dusted everything else, take a dryer sheet and use it on your baseboards or your molding around the top, whichever. It repels dust for a surprising amount of time. And you know how they, especially the bottom, they collect dust, and you can see it down there, and you're like, yeah, I need to dust those, or I need to clean those. But you got to get down on hands and knees, and you got to go around. So attach a dryer sheet to like a Swiffer wand or something, and then just go along your baseboards. It'll clean off the dust, and it will actually continue to repel it for a while.
Okay.
And we've seen a lot of reviews where people swear by this.
I'll try it.
And the great thing is dryer sheets are pretty cheap. You can buy a giant box, so it's not like you're having to spend a bunch of money. Look at that. Look how we've made your life better today. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. We appreciate each and every one of you. I mean, we're closing in on 2,000 subscribers, so please tell your friends, encourage your friends, share this video, and ask them, hey, subscribe to my guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, in 2023, we promised you more. We had Angie K on a while back, and that was key to what we want to do in 2023. We are about giving new artists, or artists that maybe not everybody is aware of, a voice online. And the crazy thing is, a lot of them already have a lot of followers online, but so many people still don't know about them, and we want to help bring these men and women out into the spotlight.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be having more of that, and we're also looking. One of my favorite things, yours too, comedians.
Oh, love comedians.
We're working on getting some comedians booked. Somebody's got to be funny in this show, and it ain't going to be us.
Never.
Have a wonderful, wonderful day or night, and come back and see us next time. See ya.